Hello everyone, my name is Sniping is Fun, and I welcome you all back to a quick discussion video that I wanted to do on this channel for a while now, especially given that it's about something that's coming within a couple weeks, it's coming next month in June, and my thought process that I've been thinking about on it lately, when you sit down and you read online, and you see all these different companies and these different news articles and all these thoughts and rumors and speculation and people predicting stuff and all this crazy stuff. It's going to be about E3 2021 from all different companies' perspectives. It's not just going to be a Nintendo thing. It's not just going to be a Microsoft thing. It's not going to be all a third-party thing. It's going to be, just E3 2021 type of small little, not a prediction video. I know in the past I've done like prediction videos. What do I predict we'll see? And then half the time I'm way the hell off. I remember one time I predicted Nintendo does this, and this is where my prediction went, and this is where they went. It went like totally out of like my prediction videos. So that's why I stopped doing full blown prediction videos. I did that back in like one of those like back in like 2011, I think 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. I did one or two of them. Well, years ago on this channel, it's not a prediction video. This is just my general thoughts on the matter, given the situation of the world, given the situation of gaming, given what's happening in the gaming scene right now, and given who said they're going to be there, and who so far hasn't, and so on and so forth, and just my general thoughts on the matter. And it's not going to be that long of a video, just a quick little thoughts. And I'm going to probably name this video like Will E3 2021 bring it. This video was originally going to be exclusively just talking about Nintendo, but I'm going to be talking about everyone in the whole grand scheme of things, because I'm like, well, that's a better point to go on about, rather than just saying, oh, look, Nintendo, just talking about Nintendo, which I'm still going to be talking about Nintendo heavily in this video anyway, so it's essentially that video plus more. So there you go. But the whole thing about this thing is E3 is coming in a couple weeks. It'll be in June, I think a couple weeks from now, 3-4 weeks, like middle of June. They're still doing it at the Los Angeles Center. It is a digital event this year, so as far as I've been hearing, so no one's allowed to go in except for the companies presenting their stuff, probably via live feed, like you could watch online, which I've seen that. But I'm thinking the biggest thing we could take away from this, that now we're having an E3 this year, was the fact we did not have an E3 2020 because but companies last year did do, like Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct. I think Microsoft and Sony did their own little things because they were building up to their newer systems, the PlayStation 5 and the Series XS. And companies did reveal games around that time, but it wasn't like this big spectacle event like all us gamers are used to, given E3 time. COVID kind of gave the biggest middle finger to that. But this year we're actually having a thing, and companies have said they're going to be there. Nintendo, which that was the biggest shock to me, because Nintendo hasn't really been at specifically E3 except for on the show floor front in years. Like they've mostly just been doing Nintendo Directs, which is the reason why I wanted to make this video directly about them, because that's the biggest shocker in news to me, is Nintendo's going to be there actually showing something off at the Los Angeles Center. At the actual E3 event, in so on and so forth, rather than just doing a Nintendo Direct. I think it's still going to be done in a Nintendo Direct format, but they're going to do it probably specifically there and kind of intermingle like probably some live showing off gameplay stuff at the same time, at the same place, rather than just two different locations and meshing together like on a Direct. But them actually being there was a shocker to me. We're going to have Nintendo finally at E3 after all this time. I think the last time they were at an E3 was like early Wii U. Early-ish mid Wii U. Microsoft's going to be there, and a lot of big third parties, Capcom, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Sega, so on and so forth. The biggest shocker, or maybe lack thereof, maybe not a shock to some people, given the whole gaming scene right now, that's not going to be there is one of the big three, at least as far as I've seen, aren't going to be there. Sony's not going to be there, as far as I've seen, because I read the list of like all the companies that had confirmed they were going to be there, and I didn't see no Sony on there. I could have misread it, but if Sony isn't there, that's a kind of a shock. Which, goes in the hand with the whole fiasco they're now having with the PlayStation 5. Can't get in the gamers' hands. All the scalpers are scalping them up. All the problems people are having with their PlayStation 5. Them wanting to do all these different remodels and all this stuff in the system and whatnot. And how could they have all that looming on them when they have to go to the show floor and do this conference, showcasing games at the same time as all this stuff that all these gamers and all this industry people want to see them fix and want to see them do? They have, oh, we're going to show you these games. Okay, can you get it in the gamers' hands? Can I have it in my hand, please? Like, I mean, they still might be there. I don't know. But the article I seen listed companies, and I didn't see Sony on there at all. I might have misread it. But I seen all those, like, EA, Square Enix, Capcom, and whatnot, and then Nintendo and Microsoft. So that's a big shocker there. But this is one thing I'm thinking about with E3 this year. We did not have an E3 last year. Game companies kind of revealed their own things throughout the year and sometime in this year. And it's not like game companies need E3 to reveal stuff. They have their YouTube channels, they have their Twitter accounts, they have all this other social media stuff and YouTube and all this, a bunch of things online that they can announce games whenever. They can do an article, they could do a trailer, they could just reveal stuff whenever. It's always been that case too. Like, E3 is the big central point, but not everything in the gaming industry is revealed at E3. There's stuff throughout the year that game companies, when they get a chance to, showcase it and put it, reveal it to the world, reveal it to customers and whatnot. But E3 is that big event, and we've been without it now for 2 years, because the last time we had an E3 was 2019. Then last year, I don't know what happened there. That got canceled. So this is the first E3 we're going to have in 2 years. And it makes me wonder if some of these companies have been holding stuff off, not to just have a random reveal on their YouTube channel and a random reveal on their Twitter. They want the big spectacle when all the world's eyes are on them, just to reveal something big. Like, I'm just wondering how many companies out there have like these big reveals that they've been holding off for a year plus on, so they can show it as something that will get more attention. And that's what led me to Nintendo, because Nintendo being an actual E3, they have to have something planned. They have to have, it's not just going to be a standard every day, every time direct. They have something planned. All I hear about from Microsoft is they have a bunch of games in the works. They have something planned. All these companies have to have something planned. We know a lot of games that are coming out within this year, next year, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of games we don't know about because some of these companies are so closely, to the release. They don't like to reveal games way too early. That's like a Nintendo. But then you get companies out there that announce their game like 4 to 6 years ahead of time, and you don't see it forever. So there's companies that are on both sides of the spectrums. They don't want to reveal a game until it's close to being able to come out, and then some of them just like, let's reveal it now so we can hype it up for X amount of time. For pros and cons, good or bad, those both happen in the gaming industry. But this is why I think E3 2021 is going to actually be probably one of the better E3s we've seen in recent years. First and foremost, this is the first E3 with a fully new generation. We have the Switch on the market with the rumors of the Pro model coming out, and a bunch of rumors that stem from the fact that Nintendo's talking to developers about putting their games on the Switch's Pro model, on this third model of the Switch, which is really what all the rumors are standing for. People keep saying, oh, it's a new system, but the Switch is only 4 years old. Switch is Nintendo's 9th gen system. It's way too soon, especially with how goddamn popular that system is. It's 55 some odd million and counting in sales. Nintendo would be absolutely stupid to stop it right now to jump on the 10th generation. So this rumored Pro model that we're hearing about, which we'll probably be seeing at E3 next month, is going to be probably shown there, and it's probably going to be something that helps push the Switch alongside the other 9th gen systems, which are finally out now, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series SX. We have all 3 9th gen systems out now. This is the first E3 where they're all there, and these gaming companies behind the scenes, or maybe not even behind the scenes, like Microsoft's buying Bethesda and buying all these big name companies, and then Sony's doing their own thing, and Nintendo's kind of doing their thing, and they're all in the gaming industry secretly and overtly in the face of everyone doing their own stuff. This is the first E3 for the 9th generation of systems. It's not the first E3 we've seen 9th gen systems, because like I said, the Switch came back out. Switch is the first 9th gen system. It came out back in 2017. So like 3 E3s we saw Switch. But now it's the Switch accompanied by the other 9th gen systems, which should get their own official first time at E3 This is going to be a grand E3. I think it's going to be something really big because Microsoft's going to have to. Is everything I hear about is that they have all these games planned and all this stuff they're working on. There's this like especially from a coworker mentions this. They have this big thing that they need a big event. It's a big reveal that people are going to surprise everyone. So that's going to be at E3, and they have been working on this probably for a year plus because 2020 E3 got canceled. So this is probably something they probably planned on revealing last year. There's probably a lot of stuff at this E3 that these companies probably planned on revealing last year. And if they didn't plan on revealing it last year, they were probably close enough to it, but they didn't want to do it at a non-E3 event. So they probably wanted to wait until 2021. The whole COVID thing started to slow down a bit. They could actually do an actual conference, an actual big event E3, some sort of big spectacle like E3. That's just what it is. I do think E3 2021 is going to bring it. I really do. I really think we're going to see a lot from multiple different companies, a lot of different games revealed. When it comes to Sony, they're going to be showing off probably they're going to be showing off stuff we already know about, like Ratchet and Clank and whatnot. What are Sony franchises could they potentially be announcing in third-party stuff? Maybe them addressing the whole shortage on PS5s. And stuff like that would be a thing. They're not at E3, but I do, or at least as far as I heard, like I said, but I have a feeling they're going to reveal something on their own little YouTube channel, website, whatever, during this time frame. So they might give some sort of, specification on that. Even if they're not at E3, companies always that aren't at E3 usually do stuff outside of it, which is like something Nintendo always done. Hasn't been at E3 in quite a few years now, but they've always been there on the show floor revealing their games on top of their Nintendo Directs, which lead into all that stuff. So companies still could do that, and Sony could still be doing something at the time, but as far as I know, they're not at E3. Microsoft has all this stuff to announce, and there you go with that. And especially with Halo, the new Halo Infinite's on its way out this year sometime too, so they probably have something big for that. And this is also at the end of this year, it's 20 years of Xbox. They have something planned. They're going to show off Perfect Dark. They're going to have something else probably from Rare. Hopefully, I would love a new Banjo at Microsoft. They're going to have something to reveal because at the end of 2021 is 20 years of Xbox. 20 years ago, the original Xbox came out, which was the last time I owned the Xbox, which is really kind of funny. I jumped back into it when the brand's about to become 20 years old. And then Nintendo, we know Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel is being worked on. Whenever that comes out, I don't know. Metroid Prime 4. There's rumors of a freaking like a 2D Metroid. There's rumors of another Donkey Kong game. I think a 3D one or 2D one. I don't know. I see rumors all over the place now. There's Smash DLC still coming out. There's still No More Heroes 3. There's still Bayonetta 3. There's still all these games that they have announced, like Samurai Warriors 5 and Rune Factory 5 and Shin Megami Tensei 5. There's a lot of 5s. And what else Nintendo franchises have they been working on? It's obviously they've been working on something. If they're going to be at E3, they have some big reveals, which I think stems to the fact of the rumored Switch Pro model and some games that they're probably going to announce for that. Some probably big specifications, but probably some big collaborations they're working with third parties, whether it's a big collaboration game, maybe some third-party support, some stuff they're going to announce, Nintendo franchises that we haven't seen in forever. And saying that, I'm going to begin on a video specifically about that very shortly. And then like all these little companies, Square Enix probably will show more Final Fantasy 16, some DLC or something from Ubisoft. Maybe we'll get a new Rayman game. It'd be really cool. EA has their own stuff. Everybody has like their own little thing. Sega, it's been coming out supposedly they want to use more of their franchises, like Crazy Taxi and all this other stuff. Like, Sega is sitting on franchises galore. What have they been doing? All they've really been doing lately is a little bit of Sonic and a lot of Yakuza. They have a good 10 to 15 plus other franchises they could be using. There's a bunch. Like I said, my main prediction and my main speculation on E3 2021 is that we're going to be seeing a lot of bombs dropped. This is going to be probably the biggest E3 we've seen in a while, because now it's the first E3 with all 3 9th-gen systems at the show floor, on the conferences, in the event, on top of all these rumors that are coming about the big, 3, even though one of them's technically not at the show, and then all the sprinkled in, all the different third-party companies talking about these rumors, all this stuff coming about them, blah, 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 blah. E3 2021, in my opinion, is going to be big, and I think we're going to get some big reveals next month. But what do you guys think? Put in the comments what you think. Do you guys think E3 2021 is going to bring it? Do you think it'll be probably the best E3 we've seen in a while? Or do you think it's going to be like a generic E3 like we've seen almost every year, because lately, really, most E3s, in my opinion, in the last couple of years, really haven't been all that spectacle and grand. Like, I remember E3 back during like 6th generation when it was like PS2, GameCube, Xbox. I remember most of the E3s during like the PS3, the Wii, and the 360. I remember the early PS3s of like Wii U and PS4 and Xbox One. And some of those were some really good E3s. And some of the ones I never watched at the time and looked at before, because I didn't watch a bunch of the ones during the PS2, Xbox, GameCube. I've seen a few, but looking back on some of the stuff they reviewed, some of the stuff they did, and then some of the stuff they did before that, back in the 90s, before I even knew what hell an E3 was, like, they had some bomb busters. They had some really big reveals at E3 throughout the years. So I'm wondering, is it going to be a big spectacle one? Is it going to be an average one? Or is it going to be a horrible one? Because we've seen each and every one of them over the years, and you could just throw certain years into each one. But that's my thought process. Put in the comments what you guys think. You guys think E3 2020 is going to be pretty good? And what do you guys predict? First and foremost, what do you think? What do you guys predict we will actually see realistically? Put in the comments below. And then, what do you hope we would see? What's your biggest wish? What do you want the most? Because I know what I want the most, Nintendo. Can we please get a new F-Zero? My name is Sniper's Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to. Have a lovely day. And I'll see you later in the next video. Bye, everyone.